Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive on AI in education. I'm excited to explore all the cool stuff happening in this space.
Yeah, it's a super interesting area, and we've got a great source to help us unpack it.
Oh, tell me more.
So we're looking at an excerpt today from Herramientas y Aplicaciones a Docencia, which translates to Tools and Applications of AI in Teaching.
Perfect. We're going to figure out how AI is changing the way we learn, and I think this is relevant for everyone, honestly. Students, educators, really anyone who's curious about the future of education. I think one of the most exciting things is this idea of personalization, right?
Absolutely. Imagine learning that's tailored to your specific needs. It's like having a personal tutor.
Oh, that would be a game changer.
Right. And adaptive learning platforms are already doing this.
Like Dreambox, that math program.
Exactly. Greenbox and other platforms like Newton use AI to, analyze how you're doing and adjust the lessons in real time.
Wow, so it's like constantly adjusting to make sure you're challenged but not totally overwhelmed.
Exactly. So if you're getting it, it'll push you further, but if you're struggling, it'll slow down and give you more support.
That's really cool. It's like those choose-your-own-adventure books I loved as a kid, but instead of choosing the plot, the AI is choosing the best learning path, right?
That's a great way to think about it. And it's not just about adapting the lessons. AI tutoring is changing things too. Think about Google's Socratic app.
Okay. Yeah.
You can take a picture of a problem you don't understand and boom, answer and a step-by-step explanation.
Wow, so it actually teaches you, it's not just giving you the answer. That would have been amazing when I was trying to figure out algebra in high school. I spent hours on those problems.
Yeah, AI tutors can definitely make things easier and more accessible, but it's really important to remember AI tools are just tools.
Right, I get that.
They can help a ton, but they can't replace actual human teachers,
Right, for sure. Teachers do way more than just give information. They inspire and motivate and create a whole learning environment. And speaking of teachers, how can AI help them with all that grading?
Oh yeah, the grading. That takes so much time. AI is helping with that, though, like with programs like GradeScope.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It can grade assignments quickly and accurately, plus it can give feedback to students automatically.
So teachers have more time for each student and for creating engaging lessons. But can AI really understand all the nuances of human language? To give good feedback on something like an essay.
It's getting better all the time. AI can check grammar, assess how clear the writing is, and even make suggestions. It's not perfect, but it's a helpful tool for teachers and students. And we can't forget about plagiarism.
Oh, right. AI can catch cheaters.
Exactly. Tools like Turnitin compare what students write against a huge database to find any plagiarism.
So it keeps everyone honest and encourages students to actually come up with their own ideas.
Exactly.
Seems like AI is really shaking things up in the classroom. But it's good that it's being used to make learning better, not to, replace that human element entirely.
For sure. And this brings us to content creation. Imagine AI helping teachers to create really engaging learning materials.
Okay, now that's interesting. So AI writing the perfect lesson plan, generating quizzes, maybe even composing educational songs.
Well, maybe not songs yet, but AI is helping with those other things. Platforms like Kahoot, for example.
Yeah, I know Cahoots.
They use AI to make quizzes, summarize texts, and design those fun interactive activities.
So teachers could have AI handle those tasks and then have more time to, focus on being creative and connecting with their students.
Yeah, it frees them up to focus on those unique aspects of teaching.
That's a game changer. What about the quality, though? Can AI content be as good as what a teacher makes?
That's a great question, and it's important to make sure that AI-generated stuff is accurate and engaging. AI tools are here to support teachers, not to replace them.
Right. It's about collaboration. Teachers bring their expertise and passion, and AI can help with those routine tasks. A real dynamic duo.
Exactly. Speaking of support, let's shift gears a bit and talk about how AI can help teachers write in the classroom.
Okay. Yeah, how so?
Well, think about real-time translation tools like Google Translate.
I use that all the time.
It can break down language barriers and make classrooms more inclusive.
That's huge. I wish I had that when I was learning Spanish. It would have made things so much easier.
Right. And then you have things like Microsoft Immersive Reader. It helps students with things like dyslexia who have trouble reading.
Oh, cool. How does it work?
It can read text out loud, highlight important words, and even create visuals.
So it's like creating a more personalized and inclusive experience for every student, like they each have their own learning assistant.
Exactly. And let's not forget about AI chatbots.
Oh yeah, those things are everywhere now.
They can answer common questions that students have outside of class.
So students can get help anytime, even if the teacher isn't available.
Yep, 24/7 support. And they can be tailored to answer questions about a specific course or subject. So much potential there.
This is really starting to feel like AI is a game changer in education. But with all this focus on AI in the classroom, we need to remember data is a big part of it too.
Absolutely. And that leads us to progress tracking. AI can analyze all that data to help teachers really understand how students are learning.
So it's not just about grades anymore, right?
Right. It's about going deeper. Think about those learning analytics dashboards, like in Blackboard or Canvas.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
AI is used to track progress, see where students might be struggling, and even predict who's at risk of falling behind.
That's super helpful. Teachers can step in and help before it's too late.
Exactly. And it's not just about academics. AI can also track engagement.
Like, is someone actually reading that super long article the teacher assigned?
Right. It helps paint a bigger picture so teachers can see who's participating and who might need more support and adapt their approach accordingly.
Wow, it's like having an AI assistant who is constantly monitoring and analyzing what's going on in the classroom.
In a way, yes. And this brings us to one of the most exciting things, simulations and augmented reality.
Ooh, now we're talking about the futuristic stuff. I can see it now, students stepping into virtual worlds to learn about history or science or even just other cultures.
You got it. Platforms like Labster let students do virtual science experiments.
No more accidentally blowing up the chemistry lab.
Exactly. And it's a super engaging way to learn those concepts. And then there's augmented reality with things like Google Lens.
I've seen those apps where, like, digital images are on top of the real world, but I've only used them for games. How does that work in education?
Well, imagine using Google Lens on like a historical artifact. You could put your phone at it and the AI would bring it to life with 3D models and all this extra info.
That's incredible. Learning becomes a lot more interactive and immersive. It's like a field trip, but without leaving the classroom. That must be great for visual learners.
Exactly. And it has a ton of potential. It could reduce costs and make education more accessible to, students who are in more remote areas.
This is all really cool, but I do wonder about some of the downsides. Like, what about becoming too reliant on technology?
That's a good point. We need to maintain that balance and remember that AI is here to enhance the human side of education, not to replace it. And speaking of balance, we should touch on task automation.
Oh, right. AI can save us so much time. Maybe it can even tackle my to-do list.
It can definitely help. Think about tools like Notion or Microsoft Teams. They're great for organizing, setting reminders, and collaborating.
So teachers can get all those administrative tasks done faster and spend more time actually teaching.
Right. And then you've got systems like PowerSchool to handle all the student data, attendance, and grades.
All those things that used to take forever.
Exactly. Now they can be automated so teachers can focus on their students.
It's amazing how AI is streamlining everything in education, from personalized learning to getting all those tedious tasks done.
It really is. AI is changing the way we think about education. It's pretty exciting to be a part of.
Definitely. But I am a little curious about what are some of the potential problems with relying so heavily on AI in education? Could we get too dependent on it?
That's definitely something to be aware of. We need to make sure that students are still learning those critical thinking skills and problem solving and communication skills.
Right. We don't want a generation of students who can't function without AI.
Right.
Exactly.
It's all about balance. AI should help us do things better, not do everything for us. And that brings us to a perfect point to transition to our next topic. So we've talked about being too reliant on AI, but what about the other side of that? The opportunities that AI opens up that we haven't even considered yet.
Yeah, that's what makes this topic so interesting. AI isn't just about, making things more efficient. It's about what education can actually become.
Right, exactly.
So, what's possible now?
Okay, so think about a world where everyone has access to these personalized learning experiences, no matter where they live or how they learn best. AI could really break down barriers that have existed for forever.
Wow, yeah. Imagine kids in rural areas who might not have the best teachers or resources.
Yeah.
AI could bring those things to them virtually.
Exactly. AI tutors, adaptive learning platforms, virtual labs. It could really level the playing field, give everyone that chance to reach their full potential.
That's a pretty amazing idea. And it's not just about improving education, it's about making it accessible for everyone.
Absolutely. And it's not just about access, it's also about expanding what we can learn. AI could help us dive into things that weren't possible before.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, well, imagine using AI-powered simulations to explore those super complex scientific concepts, historical events, or even just experiencing different cultures. You could like step back in time to ancient Rome or explore the human body from the inside.
Wow, that would be incredible. Learning would be so much more engaging and you'd actually remember it. It turns education into an adventure.
Exactly. AI can make those learning experiences so immersive and interactive and really spark curiosity and a lifelong love of learning.
This all sounds amazing, but what about the teachers? Will they even have a place in this AI-powered future?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I think teachers become even more important. They'll be the ones guiding students and helping them develop the skills they need in a world where technology is changing all the time.
So it's about giving teachers more tools, not replacing them.
Exactly. AI can help with those day-to-day tasks and provide support and create engaging content, but it can't replace those human connections, empathy, the things that teachers bring to the classroom.
So teachers kind of become learning architects, designing and putting together these incredible AI-powered experiences.
I like that. Teachers will need to be good at using AI tools, but they'll also need to understand their students even better and help them be creative and think critically and actually want to keep learning.
It's not just about knowing the tech, it's about those human things that AI can't do. That makes me feel a lot better about the future of education.
Me too.
Hmm.
AI has the potential to make education so much better, but we need to make sure it benefits everyone. And that brings us to this idea of preparing for this future.
Yeah, that's important. What can educators and parents do now to, prepare kids for a world with AI?
Well, the most important thing is to encourage a growth mindset.
A growth mindset. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
So it's about encouraging kids to like challenges, to see mistakes as a chance to learn and to believe that they can always get better, with effort. That's crucial in a world that's changing constantly because they need to adapt.
That makes a lot of sense. We can't predict the future, so we need to make sure kids are ready to learn new things.
Exactly. And we need to teach kids how to think critically about all the information they see, especially online.
Right. There's so much out there.
And they need to be able to figure out what's reliable, what's biased, fact from fiction.
So it's like teaching them to be digital detectives.
Exactly. And of course, we need to teach them how to use technology in a way that is responsible and ethical.
So it's more than just learning to code, right? It's about the impact of technology and how to use it for good.
Yes, they need digital literacy skills to navigate this complex world that we live in.
It sounds like we're not just teaching content, we're preparing students for a totally different way of life.
In a way, yeah, but it's also a very exciting time for education. We have the chance to really shape what learning looks like and get students ready for this world powered by AI.
It's mind-blowing. This conversation has given me a lot to think about. AI isn't just a tool, it's a chance to reimagine what education could be.
I agree, and this is something we're all figuring out together. How do we use this amazing technology while also remembering what's really important about education?
That's a good point. It's not AI versus humans. It's about how they can work together to create a better learning experience for everyone.
And that brings us back to you, our listeners. We've talked about a lot in this deep dive, the amazing potential of AI in education.
Yeah, like personalized learning, virtual labs. AI is really changing how we teach and learn.
But we also talked about, that balance. Using AI responsibly and ethically, making sure it makes the human element better, not replacing it.
It's been a fascinating conversation. I hope everyone listening is feeling inspired by this topic like we are.
They too.
This deep dive has given me a lot to think about, and I want to hear what our listeners are taking away from this. What really stood out to you?
What parts of AI in education are you most excited about? Or maybe a little worried about? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
You can find us on social media or leave a comment on the website. We're all kind of figuring this out together, right? This new world of AI in education.
And as we finish up, we want to leave you with one last thing to think about.
Go shoot.
AI is often seen as this big futuristic thing that's going to change everything overnight.
Right, like robots are going to be teaching our kids tomorrow.
But honestly, change happens little by little, small steps, individual actions.
That makes sense.
So what small step can you take today to kind of embrace AI in education?
Maybe check out a new AI learning app with your kids or talk to their teachers about how AI is being used in their classrooms.
Or even just keep learning about what's new in this field. It's changing all the time.
It is, yeah.
Whatever you choose, just remember that you can be part of shaping the future of learning.
And that the future has so many possibilities.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI in education.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking questions.